One of the most difficult tasks in cooking is to achieve tender, boneless, skinless chicken breasts that are not fried. This part of a commercially farmed chicken is extremely low in fat, which of course is why many people choose it as a source of protein. But it's notorious for turning into a pile of dry strings that no one enjoys. This is an old French technique that will guarantee you moist and flavorful chicken breasts. But I want to qualify this by saying that personally I have no problem with just breading and deep frying this type of chicken to keep it moist. But I know that most people are looking for a way to do this with almost no fat and still have it come out very tender. Here's a method.
The actual ingredients for this are quite simple. I've got a couple of cloves of garlic here peeled, thyme, rosemary, parsley, and dill. And you can mix these up a little bit. You don't have to use exactly this herb mixture, but I do suggest you use about twice as much thyme as you do to everything else. You want about a quarter of a cup when you're done with this. You want about a quarter of a cup of compressed herbs. A little coarse salt and some mixed peppercorns. So into the mortar I've already put the salt and the mixed peppercorns. Now I'm going to add garlic. I just coarsely chop this just to get it started. And then you're going to take the pestle. You're going to begin the crushing process here. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me, but you know, you're going to spend 30-40 seconds here grinding this around. Now you've got the peppercorns mostly crushed and the garlic started to crush. I'm not going to bother peeling each of the stems off of these herbs. I'm just going to tear them coarsely and put them in there. Now if you come up with stems in the end, it's not going to make any difference. It's all going to be part of the flavor. There's no point in putting yourself to the work of picking the herbs off of this. Okay, unless of course you got a giant big fat stem like that, this you can get rid of. And now begin grinding it again. And this is what we want. We're really just bruising the herbs. We're not really turning them into a paste here because they're going to have plenty of time to cook and for the flavor to infuse. So now I'm adding a little bit of olive oil here to make sure that it's a medium for all of the chemical constituents in those herbs to come out and kind of play together. So this is fine. I've got our little pile of herbs here. Now we can turn our attention to the chicken. You can do this with other cuts of. You can do it with boneless, skinless breasts if you want to. This will have advantages. This will not only be more flavorful in the end, but you'll be able to actually get some crisped up skin if you do it right, which you won't, of course, if you don't have any skin. So I'm just taking a sharp knife, poke a few holes like this in it. Very simple. Now we've got the crushed up herbs. You only need to put it on this side really, because this is where the flavor is going to effuse. And now you draw up a cloth in this side, draw it up in this side, fold it over here, fold it over here. And we've got our package here, and put it into a tight fitting oven proof dish, preferably ceramic, like this. Okay. Now we're going to need chicken stock for this. You know, in most recipes I advocate you making your own chicken stock. This is a case where one of these Knorr gel packs, not the god-awful powdered cubes, but the gel pack, or actually about 3/4 of a gel pack, and a cup of water will work just fine. This is actually going to be just fine because don't forget, you're not actually eating this. It's just kind of like keep it from just being plain water you're cooking this in. It's just for the steam. I just microwaved it for a minute to get it hot enough for this to dissolve. And I'm going to pour it over this, saturating the cloth. The oven should already be preheated at this point. Don't have the chicken standing around with the hot liquid on it, because now you're going to be in the danger zone too long. You're going to have bacteria growing on it. Then either put a cover on it if you have one that'll fit, or just wrap it with foil like this, and then it goes in the oven. And after it's out of the oven and cooled down, you unwrap it. and you pick the herbs off of it. Brush on some olive oil and finish it up under the broiler. Crisp up the skin.
As I said at the start, you can use this technique with large, boneless, skinless chicken breasts to achieve a low-fat, tender chicken that's almost steamed. Just a little bit of olive oil in there. You just unwrap it, scrape off the herbs, and cut it. You're not going to brown up the skin in this case because there is no skin. But as you can see, it comes out quite tender. The second volume of my cookbook is now available through Amazon and other booksellers. It covers the YouTube recipes from the last 8 months with more in-depth information. I received requests for the procedures on all recipes, and I've listened to you. Every recipe has step-by-step directions, and of course there are recipes that aren't on YouTube. But this is not just a recipe book. Far from it, as you can see from some of the topics scrolling by here. I'm certain that anyone who watches my channel and any serious cook will find this book a treasury of useful and new information you won't find anywhere else. If you want to know more about my adventures as a chef around the world and have some great laughs along the way, be sure to check out the video tour of my book, 40 Years in One Night. It's up on YouTube right now. Click the link.
Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.